Okay, looks like really good. Looks like really good. There you go. That seems to be working. Hello. What's this? Something went wrong. We'll lose it already. We just started and we'll have issues. What's going on here? Oh, there it is. No? What's wrong with my connection? Is there something wrong? It says my connection is good. Hello, Axel. Hi. Come in. Come in. You guys are ready? Sunday stream. This is great. It's great. How is everybody doing? Let's see. Everything should be good. Let me just check one more setting real quick. Because looks like that. There you go, that should be alright. That should do. Okay. Now we're going to do one of the balls again, but I'm going to have to record it because I want to make the tutorial for YouTube. And if anybody have a special request for something, you can do that a bit after. Just for the fun part, right? So let's see. I just need to hit that record button. Start recording. So everything should be good. Okay, so this piece of maple is really nice for this kind of job because it's really dense in structure and it doesn't have much going on with the grain and all that. So that's why I like to use this there. Just finding the center. And then we're going to do what I normally do. It's a really good way to hold on a piece of timber on the lathe. It's just drill a hole in the middle. Don't go through though, that will not be good. But also make sure that you drill a hole in the top of your bowl. So if you have a bowl that the grain is better on that side, you just drill a hole here because that's going to be the top of it. So just notice that one. So let's just get that in here. It's my center screw. That doesn't need to be that tight, it just needs to be tight. Okay. And we just thread that on a little bit. Just thread it on back on. Make sure it's tight, because if it's not tight and the screw is not pulled out in the jaw, a little bit of wiggle room in it, but if the screw is not pulled out, when you tighten this, it can move a little bit, and when you start turning, it can move even more and start wobble. So just make sure that the screw is pulled out before you tighten the jaws, and then you can put it on like that. So I'm just going to get my tool rest there. And when we use a center screw like this, it's always a good idea to have tailstock for support. That's not a good view. That's better. Now you can see that I have my tool rest just below center, and like this, make sure nothing hits while I'm spinning. And also a good idea to put on the PPE. Actually, I use a respirator, which is helps my lung and throat stay out of dust and debris. Also, it has a face shield as well. So that way, if anything falls off, I will not get hit in the head. Now, when you start the lathe up the first time, always make sure that it is in a low setting, low speed, and you just take the speed up until the lathe starts vibrating, or until you're starting to feel unsafe, and then you turn down just a little bit. That way we can start cutting. Let's see, get a bit of light on here. Now the tool, I like to offer the heel off to the piece like that, and then just start twisting it until it starts cutting. Because now it's not cutting, we do a pull cut. This is just to clean up the bottom so we get a flat surface. And we do that again. And we keep doing that. We can even go both ways, so we don't have to do the same thing all the time. And you think you're taking off a little too little material, you just twist it a little more into the wood and lower the handle a little bit. This way, we should be rather safe until we have a reasonable flat surface like that. Okay. So like that, now we're almost flat. Now this piece here is not flat, but the rest of it has been turned away, which means it is flat. Now this is going to be turned away anyway because the board's going to be twisted like this on around it. So now I move my tool rest so it's a little bit on the side towards the piece, and just make sure that you don't have anything hitting right like that. Now nothing hits, and we're just going to go as close as we can. Like this. Make sure the tool rest is nice and stable before you move on. Okay. Let's get that camera moved a little bit. So now I can show you. Okay. Now we start the lathe up again. And now we start nibbing off the corners, and we go from the back side, which means we get a more stable cut. It's not going to be as hard on the tools and the hands. Again, offer the heel up of the tool. And just start twisting it until we start cutting, and pull it towards you. Now we start it like this, we move on to more of a push cut later on. You probably can take the speed up just a little bit, just make sure that it doesn't vibrate. Because the faster it goes, the easier it is, but don't go faster than you're comfortable with. I'm just going to move materials like this. This is how it's going to keep going until we start overextending the tool. Now this tool is starting to overextend, which means that it goes above the tool rest too much, which means this will start vibrating at some point. So at that point, we stop the lathe. Move the tool rest. Now we have a nice little curve we can follow here. Make sure it doesn't hit, and start the lathe up again. Again, heel on. Let's try this camera. Heel on. Twist the tool until we start cutting. And start moving it towards the edge. Now we start getting curls, like real nice shaving like this off, which means we're doing it right. If we don't get that off, and just sawdust or shavings, it will mean that we're not doing it the right thing. Thank you, Axel. I appreciate that so much. 10 months, dude. That's amazing. Thank you, mates. Did you have a good birthday? I know you had a birthday. I think it was Tuesday, wasn't it? Now we get the speed up quite a bit now, 1600 RPMs, which is a nice speed to turn at. Keep going. Still out of angle. Now we can start shaving the ball a little bit to get the roundness of it at the same time as we're removing material. Like that. Okay. Now we can see here, we're starting to have a bit of shape off the ball, and we can start getting real good shape on it. Now we still have flat spots here, basically all the corners, and that's fine. It's going to get removed as we do the ball a little bit more. Okay, so we could stop the lathe again, because I think we're getting close to have all the flat spot removed. Now all the flat spot is gone now, and we need to see, I know my jaws, if I need to make a reset at the bottom, that's a hole in it, it needs to be 52 mil. So what I'm going to do, so 52 mil, it's like this. Right, like that. And when we do stuff like this, you have to be careful. This side should not hit the wood. That side should not hit the wood, only this side. And that way you can scribe onto it. But just be careful, don't make this side hit, otherwise you're going to get a catch, destroy your calipers, get caught in your hand. I've done it plenty of times. You can also do it just by measuring out and do it with a pencil. That will probably be safer, but it's going to be okay. Now we're at the stage. Everything here is balanced, turns really well. We can remove the tailstock. Now, only do that at this stage if you're comfortable with it. But if you're not comfortable, don't remove it yet, and just keep whittling away like I started with. But now I am comfortable enough that I think we should be able to do it. Remember, we're only holding on by a small screw, which means that it can come off if we get a catch. But we need to shape the ball, and we don't want to take off too much material at the time. And you can hear the chattering. You can hear the chattering, which means that is a little bit unstable. gonna do that. Tyson, I'm making a ball with textured outside. I'm doing this as a recording for my YouTube, so I'm not going to answer too many questions. Hello, Lions. How you doing, mate? How are you doing, dude? Now, this is how you make a ball, actually, like a proper man, not just whittling away with it with a knife. But you're good, you're good. Okay, back to recording. Now, to make the recess, just start removing a little bit of material. Be careful not to go past the line you made. And we want a nice flat bottom because I'm going to use my branding iron to get this nice little logo in there. Now, if you go out like this, be careful. Stop just before you hit the wall. Otherwise, the chances of you getting a catch, it is rather big. Now, here's a really good use for skew. Making that side nice and nice and straight, and the corner at the bottom really sharp, because that's what we want to do. So now we have a nice little recess. My jaws are straight, which means it takes a straight recess. Some are dovetail and take a dovetail. But that's different kind of jaws. Okay. So I think we can go up a little bit higher on speed. Now, the bottom of the ball I need to stop about here. Just about there. So I need to remove the rest of it and make it into a curve. So I'm just going to use a few push cuts to get that started. Something like that. Now, the thing I like to do on these recesses here, I like to round that out a little bit. Now, it is rather deep, which means I still have room for my jaws to get a grip on the inside. You take your time like this, with a really nice surface, with the push cut. Now, I didn't proper put on the position my tool rest so I can go all the way around, but a cleaning cut, you can see the really fine shaving like I just did there. That's a cleaning cut. That's what you want to do when you stop shaping it, and you want to get a nice surface to work on. So these are the roughing shavings, like the bigger but they're still long and curly, and the small thin ones gives you a really nice surface. This is like really good. So it is ready to add texture on it, because that's what I want to do. So I'm just going to position my tool rest so I can take the rest of it. Now the top part of the ball is still a little bit on the flat side. So I'm going to try to curve this all the way in one go. And we'll see if I am able to. Normally, when you make a cleaning cut, you should take a new, extremely sharp gouge. That is really well. It's just sharp, really, because that makes it easier to get a good cut. I just sharpened that tool before I started, but I'm going to humor you all and get a new one. Okay, there you go. More shavings, and even you can see here there's a really fine dust. These are actually really, really thin, small curls. And that's not too bad. Now, that surface is really nice and smooth. I got a line here because that's when I stopped the cut and started again. But that's fine. That will be sanded away really easy. And we don't need to sand a lot because we're going to use the texturing tool. Right. I'll show you a little bit about the texturing tool in a minute. I'm just going to get the sandpaper out. It's going to, I think we can do with just 120. Okay. Just going to sand this. While I sand this, we can have a chat. Go for the chat. Hello, everybody. Steve, Wes, welcome in, guys. Eternal Refuge. I am sorry, I'm recording a video, so I'm not going to be able to say hi to everybody as soon as they come in. But yeah, welcome in, guys. And Timber, hello, mate. Did you straighten that clock? So, let's see. This is good surface, right? Now, texturing tools. Let's have a little chat about texturing tools. Let's have a little chat about texturing tools. Okay. Now this is a texturing tool. This is the one I like to use. It is made by Robert Sorby. You probably can't see it. But yeah, it's made by Robert Sorby. I think they make the best texturing tools because they come really sharp straight out of the box. Some of the other brands do not. But yeah. But for what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the little spur thing here. It looks like a spur from an old Western movie. What I'm going to do, I'm going to offer up to the timber. I'm not going to go like this. I'm going to tilt it and draw it across like that, which means I'm going to get a nice texturing. Made in England. They are, dude. They are made in England. So what I'm going to do is going to set the tool rest and just do a test run to see if I can get all the way around. I cannot. Okay. So the tool rests have now been set to a height just below center height, and I'm going to do a test run to see if I can get all the way around like that, and I can. I'm going to start the lathe up. I think I'm going to go about 1,000 RPMs. Now, speed and angle of the tool is going to change the texturing quite a bit. So when you put it in, you need to put it in firmly, not press too hard. And when you pull it out, just move it away and don't just take it out. So this is what we're going to try to do and see how well that goes. And careful with your fingers, don't get too close to the cog wheel. Depending on how fast you move it across, it's also going to change the texturing you're getting. Now, you can probably see it right now. We got nice texturing on it. This is not enough. I want a lot more, and I probably want it a little bit deeper as well. So I'm going to press a little bit harder. Maybe go a little bit faster in the lathe. And let's go again. Okay, so that's a lot better. I'm going to go 1 or 2 more times. Now this is what I was after. Hopefully this is going to be deep enough. Right. Now after you did texturing, because that's all that tool's going to do for me now. That's done now. After you did this, it's a really good idea to put on a little bit, just use a little bit of sandpaper, just because the texturing does actually leave a few split ends. So you don't need a lot of sanding, it just makes sure that it feels kind of nice. And I like to use an air compressor to clean up the grains like that. And I'm hoping now I am deep enough. So I hope now I'm deep enough the way I can use this so it's going to be properly. Now, I'm going to go purple today because I think that's good. Now, first of all, I cannot go purple yet because I need to add the contrast first. Now, the contrast I'm going to use is black because I think it's nice and it's easy to do. I'm just going to use a little bit to protect my lathe bed, because that might be useful. Now, the coloring, the black coloring I'm going to use is something called ebonizer. Now, it's a little bit thick viscosity, and it dries really quickly, but it also colors a lot. So, I'm going to wear gloves. And to add the paint, I like to use some foam cloth. Now, it's the same foam cloth that you use for the baby's bottoms when you have babies. And they're like cheap, and you can get them at any supermarket. They're really, really nice to do stuff like this. And what you want to do with this coloring here, you need to dab it on. You don't want to use a brush. We can use a brush. It's just going to get you another texture, and it's going to looks like it's kind of layered, at least on the flat surfaces, because we're going to color the inside as well. Make sure you get it really nice coated all the way in. The good thing about this foam also, it doesn't absorb too much, and it doesn't break down that easy. It can break down, so don't worry about that, but it doesn't do that easy. So this is a really nice way to do it. Just going to get all of it. And if I use pressure like that, I can just work it in all those little grooves. And make sure everything has been coated. So, it's already starting to dry this. As soon as it starts to dry, it gets a little sticky. I'm gonna color that at the end anyway. So let me see, did I miss anything? Am I happy before I move on to the next step? So that's that. Now that needs to dry just a little bit. she got a lot of luck delivered. That's good. It's always nice to have some timber. Right? Okay, so the purple, I'm going to use the electric purple ballistic paste waxes from HG. Now, these have been discontinued, but I still have stock. But you can use just about any color the wax you have to do this. And it's just a normal paintbrush that I cut the hairs off so it's shorter. And that will work out really well when I try to get this into the grooves. So what you want to do is you want to be liberal with the wax and do across the grain, not with it, because then you're going to take out the coloring from the grain. The excess is going to come off by polishing it a little bit with a cloth. So go across the grain, make sure that is filled up, and there is a hair from the brush. You need to get that out. Hold on, where is it? There it is. There we go. Don't want that left in there. I think this wax here is a little bit too soft. It kind of needs to be a little bit hard wax. I think this is. It's been sitting around for a long time, and it's probably got mixed up with other stuff over the time. But yeah, let's hope it's working properly. Let's try it our best. Now going across the grain. First, I put it in across the texturing. First time I just put it in, just mash it down there. I think we're good. I'm hoping this will go the way I want it. We'll see. We'll see. Now it's a good thing to have a brush that you use for this only. Now, normally I would say never use cloth at the lathe. So when you do this, you need to be extremely careful, because cloth have a tendency not to break when you use it to polish. So what I'm doing, I'm curling this up into a little ball thingy. I'm just taking off the excess right like that. And don't wrap it around your hand or your finger or anything. Careful, I'm just trying to get the excess off. That should make it so that you can see now coloring is in the grooves. That's good. Right. Now, we need to hold this in. We need to have it sealed so it doesn't come off when we start to turn the inside, sorry. And for that, should still protect my nail bit. No, it normally don't. We use first some sanding sealer. Now, I'll actually use spray sanding sealer. Again, this is just a matte sanding sealer. I think it's a cellulose-based. Yeah, it's a cellulose-based sanding sealer, which is what we do. And acrylic one will do as well. And this is just to hold the thing in, so it doesn't get anything on it. So that just needs to dry a little bit. We don't want too much, but we want enough. Okay. And on top of that, we're going to use some matte lacquer. As soon as that's dry, I'll just take a little bit. What maps are you doing, Steve? Oh, this the big frames you did the other day that I watched. You did some of it. I haven't watched many of your streams lately. I'm sorry for that. Oh, Lions, you're amazing, dude. Appreciate that. By the way, the guy you ripped into the other day on stream, I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was hilarious. So, don't worry about it from my part. But you did all right. I wish I had the skills like that to talk to people like that, but I don't. But it was fun. What happened is someone came into his stream and started talking shit about his hobby and why ever he would do something like that when he can just go out and buy. He was making a spoon with a knife. When you just go out and buy one for 50 cents or $1 or whatever. And he was just like, yes, you can go out and buy some cheap mass-produced shit. That will last you a couple of years, maybe 5 if you're lucky. Or you can get a handcrafted one that someone made because they wanted to and they like it. And it's a hobby, and people enjoy it. Yeah, you wonky spoons, I did see that as well. That was also funny. I mean, they are wonky, they're handmade. So it's not perfect, but hell, I fucking use it. Okay, I think now the setting sealer is dry. You can see that it's dry because there's no shiny spots left, and it's all matted up. So we can go with the matte lacquer. Again, this is just where is the camera? There it is. This is just a matte lacquer from Hamshashin again. This is some of the last things that you can get from Hamshashin, but this is an acrylic lacquer. And it goes all right with the cellulose-based setting sealers. Don't worry about that. Now we want this to be coated a little bit heavy, which means I need to do quite a few coats. The reason why I want it heavy is because when I start to turn it, the lacquer needs to hold the the paint in, so it doesn't like dislodge or stop holding. If it happens, and probably will, you can see there's going to be some matte spots on it, like some a bit lighter spots. You can see the lacquer. So I'm just going to give this a few coats. Make sure that it's nice and dry in between. And that's it, really. So let's just watch this and have fun. I love the resurgence of bad crafted stuff. Yeah, dude, handcrafted. I get it, but still fun though. When you think about the guy from yesterday, I think that's really fun. I'll just hand you the rope and you can hang yourself. Wasn't that what you said to him? Let him dig his own grave? The further that conversation went, the more this guy dug his own grave. That was fun. Yeah, and I like the trolls myself. I think trolls are great fun. Um, but a troll like the one you had, I was not going to be able to contain myself. I would have to kick out way before. I can't do that. But a troll that comes in and makes stupid comment, and normally I can change their mind within a minute or two, and they become a subscriber. And some of them have been here for a long time now, which is fun. So yeah. Well, this is exactly why you should do it. I don't know why I do this, because, I think there are enough balls in the world to go around. But I just enjoy it. I enjoy the turning process. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. And for that reason is why I do it. So yeah, that's just, it's a matter of enjoying ourselves and having fun, right? Yeah. Now this is about dry now. I mean, it's dry enough. It's not perfectly dry, which means it's not completely hardened. So I'm going to be careful when I, handle it. But I think it's about ready. There are no weird spots. There's one spot up here because there's a droplet of lacquer apparently. I fell off and onto the piece. I'm not going to touch it because stuff like that happens, and that's what it is really. Now, to get this off, we should block the spindle, get a good grip, and twist. It shouldn't be that difficult to get off. Just be careful, don't drop the piece. And don't touch the lacquer too much at this state. Now we can take the worm screw out. This is what I talked about. As you can see, it can move a little bit. You need to make sure that it's pulled out before you tighten the jaws. Because if it's in there and you tighten the jaws and you put a piece of wood on, it can work itself out, and then you have a gap, and it will be difficult. It will start wobbling and be unstable. Now the question is, did I do a good enough job with the jaws, with the measuring of this? So let's see. They fit, and I can expand them. Shouldn't be much expanding before it's starting to hold. What I like to do, I like to twist it a little bit while I'm expanding the jaws. That way, there's a chance it's going to run a lot smoother. See, there's hardly any run out, which means I got a good grip. You don't have to tighten both sides, but the reason why I do it is because wood is soft and it gives away. So when I tighten, after a couple of seconds, the wood had give, so you don't have as good grip on it as you thought you had. So that's why I keep twisting and tightening a little bit to make sure that it's nice and secure. Okay. So let's see. Tool rest goes here, just below center. I don't think this is low enough, but we'll see. I have two banjos because I sometimes do production wood turning, and then I need a really long tool rest with two stems on it to make it secure and not wobbling. That's why. Don't worry about it. It's not why we're here today. Okay. Now, that looks like it spins pretty well. Make sure the lathe is turned down before you start anything. Start the lathe down at low speed and just pull up. You see there's a little bit of wobbling. It's not a lot though. I'm just going to turn it up slowly until we are happy. And don't go too fast, especially here when the lacquer is not completely cured. I can just take off the gloves because that's no reason why I have them on right now. Okay. Now, like we did on the other side, right? Heel in, start twisting until we start cutting, and we pull.
So we do this here, and we don't have to lift the couch out. Just go forth and back a few times until it is nice and flat. It looks like the rim is a little bit off still, so I'm just going to go a little bit heavier out here. Okay, there you go. Now we're going to hollow this. Now this is the best part of it, because hollowing is the most fun. Now the lathe is only at 1200 RPMs. I really want to go faster, but I'm still a little bit scared about the leg here. We can go up a little bit. Now what we're going to do here, we take the tip of the tool. We take the tip of the tool and present it into the timber. And we just pull the handle towards us in a arch motions while we push the tip in. And that way, we can make some nice shaving. Now, depending on how confident you are, you can go deeper or less. Now, this doing this as a video for you guys, I'm not going to go as deep as I normally would. And just leave the steps in there, and we're just going to work our way out. Oops, that was a little bit too big of a cut. But that's alright. So we're just going to go with this. This is just about half an inch deep. So about 13 millimeters for the rest of the world. I'm just going to do this. And we're going to do this a couple of times until you're starting to overextend the tool a little bit. And when we get close to the edge, we're not going to go too close. Just going to leave a little bit of meat on it so we can do some cleaning cuts at the end there. Now I'm just going to stop again here. See, I think I can go, feels okay actually. We could go up a little bit higher on speed. So I think we're going to go like 1600, and I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive with the hollowing part, because, you know, it's just hollowing a ball. It's not something we haven't seen before. This is how I normally would hollow a piece. Those big cuts, but if you're not comfortable going this fast and this quick, just take smaller cuts, because there's no hurry. There's no need to hurry. Now what I'm doing now, I'm getting the tool rest in to get more support so I don't overextend the tool. Now this is about 1 inch deep now, just under 4/5 of an inch, 2 centimeters for the rest of the world. Just keep working this. Probably need some light in the piece. So let's see, now this piece here is about 6.5 centimeters thick, and I'm 4 centimeters deep, so I still have a bit more to go. Now I'm going to start making scoops all the way to the bottom of the piece. The closer I'm getting to the finished depth. And what we want to do with this, you're going to start from the outside. When you get towards the bottom, the corner, you're going to put the handle down so the cutting edge goes up a little bit high, and you're going to have an arch-like motion towards the center. In that way, with a 45-degree gouge, you can go in one cut and have a reasonable surface. Now, let's see. So we're getting really close to the final depth. We're not going to go that much deeper. So I'm just going to try to set up the tool rest so I can get a few nice cuts, because I'm not real even here. I have a bump right there, and I want to get rid of that. Take a little bit more of the raw thickness, and we should get a new gouge for this. New and sharp gouge. Just do small arc-like cut in. Take your time with this. It's no rush. It's no rush. The more time you take, the finer the shavings you get, the better the finish. Right. Now I have a bump here, so I'm going to take that out. Hello, it's Matt. I need to make sure that 6.5 and we're 5.5, and I have a little bit of a deep recess, and the bulk is there now. So let's see. There, it's a little bit there. It's all a matter of making sure you don't feel any bumps anymore. And now we just have a little bit here. I just need to clean that up. And just, see that a scraper is not something that really is needed. Just proper control and a little bit of practice. I mean, you could use carbide for this. It would make the job easier, but it also make you have to sand a little bit more. So I prefer standard tools. There's nothing wrong with carbide, I just prefer standard tools. Right, there you go. Now we just need to sand this because it's not perfect. But it's close. And also, the edge here, I just break that with the sanding disc, because it's just easy to do. Now we could do that with a sandpaper. This is maple. We can do that with a gouge. But this is a little bit of a beginner project as well. And using a gouge on the corner like that, there's a good chance you will get a catch. And that would be really bad here at this stage. So sanding it like this will just help you get that project done the first time. So just gonna, now this is rather aggressive. This is 80 grit. And it's really aggressive, but there's a reason for it. Because the paint I'm going to use on it, it doesn't like too smooth a surface. So if you're going too fine a grit, it will not stick properly, and you're going to have issues. So this is 120. So it also helps you if you're having issues with the proper use of the tool. Now I'm going to go one grid higher, so that's going to be 180, and that's going to be X. Okay, I hope that's enough. Let's see how well that lacquer hold up. Doesn't look like it have any issues. And here could be a little bit at a light spot, but that's not too bad. Okay, now we're done with the sanding. Still a little bit of sand dust in the air, so it shouldn't take my helmet off yet. But you know, sometimes we're going to do what we're going to do for the peeps. Okay. So let's see. We're going to do exactly the same on the inside as we did on the outside, except we're not going to texture it. Now we're just going to leave this here nice and yeah, just black. I think the black looks really good. So again, I'm going to use the sponge. I'm just going to fold it. And I can put on the coloring on the sponge and just dab it on. Because that's what you have to do. If you start to wipe it,
like that, you see, you're going to get lines. So if you dab it on, you're going to get a much more even coat. Nikolai says there's something wrong. I need to give him the ball. This is going to be a present for the people that host us for New Year. And that it's already been set up, so can't give it away. Now the corners, now you need to be careful not to go over the outside of it, because it's really easy to do and it's going to be visible. So just take your time a little bit. And just do it like that. Okay? Nothing wrong with taking your time when you're making a project with love. It's well worth it. And it's always the little touches that takes a piece from a good piece to a really good piece. Oops, my light is a little bit. There we go. We just need to make sure that we have everything covered. Now, if you were to use a brush here, it's going to be really easy to see the pencil strokes. But by dabbing this, you can blend it so you cannot see it, because this layer is a little bit thick. And that way, you can get a reasonably smooth surface. Also, doing it like this and not spraying it on with like an airbrush gives it a little bit of a texture inside. So it's not perfectly smooth. So it's a little bit of a rustic feel. So it's both giving it color, but also giving it a little bit of texture. And again, that's why I wasn't too worried about me not going high on the grit on the sanding, because this texturing is, it hides everything. So it's a really good project for a beginner. Hey dude, we'll come in, mate. Okay. So there you go. Ebonite said black polish. I think it's a good product. I know we can get it in Denmark, but the rest of the world I'm not sure about. Okay, so as soon as that's dried, I'm gonna give it the old satin sealer and lacquer again. So it's a process we have seen before. But when you do stuff like that here on the inside, don't spray in like straight in and just hope it goes. Go swerve like that, and it's going to be better. So we're going to do a little bit like this. So this is the setting sealer. I'll just leave that to dry a little bit. So yeah. MTV. I did that with a texturing tool. I'm recording a video right now. So I'm gonna hopefully get that edited and put it on soon, so you can see the process step by step, right? Thank you, dude. So yeah, waiting for it to dry again. I think 2 coats should do it. This is a little of really fine steel wool, just to take some of the richness out of the sanding sealer, which will help the lacquer lay a little bit more even. And I think that would be worth it in this case, because it was like a little bit too rustic. It's just a matter of this drying now. You can see it's actually a droplet right there. Really obvious. So that needs to be completely dry before we can do anything with it. bit of a heat gun can sometimes speed up the process just a little bit. You can go 2 more coats and then a light polish. Now this is a matte lacquer, so it's not going to be shiny, but it's going to give it somewhat shine, but we don't want it too much. Don't want it too much because it's and I want it a little bit rustic on the inside, but I still want it really well protected. It's too thin of a layer of lacquer. As soon as someone put the keys in this bowl, I would just destroy the lacquer, wouldn't it? So. One more coat and that'll do. I just need to make sure that it's properly cured before I start the polishing. Again, I don't think this really just looks like it needs it. I think this needs it. Okay, all of you who've been here till the end, I really appreciate that. still need to do a little on the bottom there, give that a little bit of color. And then I need to use my branding iron. But that should be okay. Thank you, Steve. Just a drop of that on, and you can smear it. There we go. So one way to hide a recess. It's one way to hide a recess. It's not dry yet. It will dry up really quickly. Right. For the video, I think this is good. And yeah, there we have it. That's how we make an easy bowl with a texturing tool. So all I used was a 13mm ball gouge or ½ inch, and jaws, and a texturing tool. That's the tools you need. Of course, you need a lathe and standard stuff. But then, any kind of wax will do it. And lacquer on top of it, just to keep it in. I think this is not bad. Okay, recording's now off. You got my full attention. All 20 of you. What do you guys think? I think this is cool. This is not a bad piece. That's not a bad piece. So by the looks of it, I now need to upload that video and what do you guys think? More? Are we done for today? Alright. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a good day. Good to the world. The world will be good to you. Peace out and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.